Hi there, my name is Eve Fairbanks, and I'm a journalist with the New Republic magazine. Thanks to the Pulitzer Center, I recently got to travel to Uruguay to consider a question that's always fascinated me. Does a leader that's more humane, so more relatable, more empathetic, more lovable as a human being, actually make a better policymaker? Now, I come at this question from having grown up in the Clinton era in the United States, when it seemed that all of Clinton's personal charisma, his warmth with ordinary people, didn't ultimately stop him from getting stymied in the political process in Washington when he wanted to make dreams like universal health care a tangible reality. And yet the very next time that we went to vote for our president, even after seeing that happen, we still chose the person that we really felt like we could have a beer with. And I think in modern democracies, there's such a preference for a likable, relatable leader. I think these days this yearning has gotten even stronger as we start to take note of the damage that inequalities are wreaking on our societies. So we ask ourselves, how can a leader who vacations in the Hamptons with JP Morgan bankers, who's himself a member of the top 1%, who goes to Davos with the global elite, how can such a person really acknowledge and work according to our interests? So about a year ago, in the midst of this anxiety about our leadership class, we started to notice an unusual president, the president of Uruguay, Jose Mujica. Now, he cuts about the opposite kind of a figure from your typical expert-worshipping, Davos-going kind of a world leader. He's a former socialist guerrilla fighter. He forswore the presidential residence to still live in his own crumbling, kind of crummy apartment in a commune in Montevideo. He lives in this amazingly humble way. He hangs out in bars and restaurants still with the poor of Uruguay. He donates about 90% of his salary to charity. He drives his own VW Beetle to work. And a ton has been written about him in short form in the last year or so. And the conclusion of those stories is that he really is a model for the rest of our world's leaders, and that if we had leaders like him all over the world, we could finally get governments that really cared about income inequality, about raising educational standards in poor communities, and so on. But I wanted to do a deeper investigation into whether that's really true. And in-depth investigations are what the Pulitzer Center really makes possible. So I wanted to travel to Uruguay for a bit longer, interview a lot more people, and ask the society. You've had Jose Mujica as a leader for 4 years now. And what kind of difference has this humble, empathetic, incredibly down-to-earth president really made in your society? Does a government run by somebody like that make the kind of difference that we fantasize about?